ராஜராஜன் சார் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க சார்.
Good morning to everyone. On behalf of Department of Computer Science and Engineering, King's College of Engineering, I am Rajarajan, Assistant Professor. Welcome you all. Today's webinar on Industry Ready Programming, organized by Department of Computer Science and Engineering, King's College of Engineering. I like to thank our management and Honorable Secretary Sir, Dr. R. Rajendran, and our Principal Madam, Dr. J. Arpuda Vijay Selvi, to conduct this type of event. I would like to begin this program by welcoming our eminent guest and speaker, Dr. N. Sivakumar Sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Pondicherry Engineering College, Pondicherry, and thank him for accepting our invitation to share his knowledge on this webinar. Thank you, sir. Now, I request Assistant Professor of CSE Department, Mrs. Sugandha Lakshmi Madam, to come forward for the welcome address.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to all. I take this wonderful opportunity to welcome you all for this webinar titled Industry Ready Programming, organized by Computer Science Engineering and King's College of Engineering. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming our Honorable Secretary Sir, Dr. R. Rajendran, our respected Principal Ma'am, Dr. J. Arpuda Vijay Selvi, our beloved HOD Ma'am, Dr. S. M. Uma, and my staff members to this webinar. I also extend a warm welcome to our today's speaker and our resource person, Dr. N. Sivakumar, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, Pondicherry Engineering College, Pondicherry, who immediately accepted our invite without any hesitation, who is going to enlighten us with this valuable speech. Welcome, sir. And I welcome our student participants who are the diamonds of our crown for this webinar. Once again, it is a glorious moment to share my warm wishes to everyone gathered here and convey my heartfelt gratitude to our management, Secretary Sir, Principal Ma'am, HOD Ma'am, Coordinator, and our staff members for their support in organizing this webinar. Welcome you all once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, to brief about our resource person, I would like to call upon the coordinator, Dr. D. Sivakumar Sir, for the introduction of resource person.
Very good morning, one and all gathered here. It is my honor and privilege to be introducing Dr. N. Sivakumar Sir. He has completed his BTech degree in Bharatiyar College of Engineering and Technology, Pondicherry University, year 2001. Completed MHRM, MBA degree in Pondicherry University. Has completed his MTech CSE in Pondicherry Engineering College, the year 2004. He has completed his PhD degree in Pondicherry Engineering College in the year 2014. He started his career as lecturer in Dr. Paul's Engineering College from June 2001 to August 2002. He was worked as lecturer in Sri Manakula Vinayakar Engineering College from May 2005 to January 2006. Now he is working as assistant professor in Pondicherry Engineering College from February 2002, 6 to till date. Totally, he has 17 plus years of teaching experience. He organized one international conference and he acted as conference reviewer and a session chair for one international conference and two national level conferences. He published his papers in 27 various international journals, 22 international conferences, and 1 national level conference. He has presented the paper in 3 Asia Pacific conferences and participated in 1 national conventional program. He organized the AICTE UIP sponsored short-term course on software testing and quality assurance and AICTE QIP sponsored short-term course on machine learning and data science, tools, techniques, and challenges. He attended nearly 35 programs like short-term training program, staff development program, faculty development program, workshops, and training programs. He delivered the expert lecturer in All India Radio, Pondicherry, Center for Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC, Hyderabad, various faculty development programs, workshops, and short-term course, and so on. Nearly 42 programs he acted as a resource person. Thank you, sir. Once again, I welcome you, sir.
Yeah. Good morning to one and all. So thank you, Shivakumar sir, for the introduction, and thank you all the organizing members of King's College of Engineering. And I also thank the management for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this wonderful program. Hope my audio is clear.
Yes, sir. Your audio is clear, sir.
Yes. Okay, so today we have been here to limelight certain things on industry-ready programming, right? And to start with, before I go for the session, since it is YouTube streaming, probably I can't have any sort of interaction with the students. In the sense, sometimes if I ask some questions, maybe students will be replying in messages in Gmeet if they are directly connected in. But since it has been in YouTube, probably it will take some time for streaming in YouTube, so that it will be difficult for interaction. Anyway, I try my best and expecting your cooperation for this particular successful session, right? Okay, to start with, as people introduced me, myself, Dr. N. Shivakumar, working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Pondicherry Engineering College. To start with, basically, when it comes to students' mentality, say for example, when people are studying, say 12th standard, so what will be the limelight or the focus of that particular student's mentality at that particular moment of time, right? So probably, right, getting some good marks during 12th I'm talking about, right? So their focus is all about how to get good marks, like whatever maybe, like their parents, their neighbors, like relatives, everybody will be talking about +2 mark, right? So that is what might be happening, right? But once you got the marks, right, somehow or the other, right? So your result arrived, and based upon your mark, if you want to join any the bachelor courses, you have so many options, right? Say you have medical options, engineering options, fashion designing, arts, economics. There are so many options in front of you, right? So it is up to you to choose which can be, right, more optimal based upon your mark, based upon your passion, interest, right? Everything matters, right? Now, based upon your passion and based upon your mark, you have chosen something. Say, for example, you people have chosen engineering, right? Now, the point is, once you have chosen engineering, again, there is a confusion. What a department should I choose? Is that a mechanical, computer science, ECE, right? Civil, right? So everything has been coming under. So that is the actual problem here, right? They have so many options, right? Now, what you people have chosen is you have chosen computer science and engineering. You have chosen computer science and engineering. Okay, sir. In the meantime, is that streaming correct? Stream aayittu irukka, sir, YouTube la? Sir?
Yes, sir.
But first slide irukka mari irukku YouTube la. Is that?
ஆமா சார், ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட்ல தான் சார் இருக்கேன்.
First slide na title slide le irukku.
டைட்டில் ஸ்லைடே இருக்கு சார். ஃபுல் மோடு கூட மாறல சார் அது.
Then how can people see?
Sir,
சார்
you share your presentation, sir.
Share பண்ணியாச்சு sir. உங்களுக்கு
It's
தெரிஞ்ச
not that window,
presentation.
sir.
Are you able to see my presentation?
Only first page only viewed, sir.
Just a minute. This slide's போயாச்சு. Okay.
Now it's okay, sir.
Okay, so many slides left. Okay, to start with again, to make it simple, when you are being in +2, right, your ultimate objective is about getting good marks, right? So your focus is going to be on that. And based upon your mark, there are so many things in front of you, maybe medical, engineering, fashion design, economics, arts, right? So based upon your mark and interest, you might have chosen, right? You might have chosen some thing. That is, you people who are listening here have chosen engineering, right? Once you have chosen engineering, again, there are so many options in front of you, right? Is that mechanical, civil, right? There are so many options in front of you. Now, as you people, you have chosen computer science and engineering, right? Right now, you people are studying computer science and engineering. Now, the question is, if I ask you, what is your goal for today? If I ask you, what is your goal for today? What will be your answer? Right? The same question I have asked in many colleges, probably the answers are going to be like this. Sir, I need an IT job, right, of 50,000. Some say 1 lakh, some say 20,000, some say even 10,000, right? Some people even people I come across, they say, sir, at least if I able to get some job, doesn't matter what the salary is, I madly need of a job. So that is how people are being exaggerating their goal, right? My point is, right, you people are shrinking yourself when it comes to salary, or when it comes to your expectation, or when it comes to your dream is concerned, right? Say for example, I come across this particular news, right, in Times of India. Just read it. A female IIT B grade and top 3 recruits with rupees 1.4 crores Facebook offer, right? People got a Facebook offer, in the sense an employee has a Facebook, right, for the salary of 1.4 crores. Just imagine, right? So if 1.4 crores, what might be the salary per month, right? More than 10 lakhs, more than 10 lakhs. But as a goal is concerned for our people, what they claim is they need a job for 20,000 rupees, 25,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees, something like that, right? So many things I come across. Say 40 IIT students got some 1 crore plus offer, right? And Allahabad students backs rupees 1.34 crores Facebook offer. So what I'm trying to convey here is, you people are living in a jar, right, closed by a blue lid, and you are thinking that the lid is the sky. Definitely no, right? If you open the lid, then only you can understand where exactly the real sky is. So you should understand the limit, right? So probably they will be saying sky is the limit. Yes, but we don't understand. But we are living in such a way that we are putting it inside a jar, and we are having some minimum expectation. Don't ever do that. Don't underjudge yourself. There are so much of scope. I still remember one of my students when during his final year, when I asked him, what is your dream? He told, sir, I want to join Microsoft, right? So I told, yeah, congratulations and all the best, right? Everything is fine. But at that particular moment of time, he is able to join only TCS, right? He worked in TCS. But after some 7 years of time, I got an email stating that, sir, now I joined Microsoft, right? The point is, initially, right, you may or may not achieve whatever goal you focus upon, maybe, right? But you have to be very stringent and strong in your goal, as that particular student whom I told you, right? At last, at 7 years of time period, he joined the company, right, which he dreamed. So that is very, very important, right? And one more important thing is, people nowadays, even students, are being having so many barriers, right? They have some focus, but still something is stopping them, right? So the biggest obstacles in their lives, right, are the barriers that mind creates. They think themselves that they cannot do that. Programming is difficult. Programming is not their cup of tea. Programming is somewhat it's a kind of alien, like a language, something like that, right? Right. More importantly, this is the main important thing: inferiority complex. Inferiority complex doesn't mean like a physical like inferiority complex. At a mind level, also people are having inferiority complex, that they are not good enough in programming. எனக்கு ப்ரோக்ராமிங்னாலுமே வராது, எனக்கு அது செட் ஆகாது, ப்ரோக்ராமிங்னாலுமே எனக்கு கஷ்டம். Definitely, it is not of that kind. If you started working, right, if you started learning, definitely programming is not that much great. Everybody can do programming, right? So that is very important thing here, right? And to start with, I don't know how many people come across this particular person, such a smart person, right? His name is Nick Wojcik, right? So this particular person, if you like to see the complete physique of this particular student, person, he doesn't have, right, arms, and he doesn't have legs. He don't have arms and no legs, but still he's living his life with no worries. Just imagine a situation of a person who doesn't have 2 hands and 2 legs. Just imagine, right? Just imagine, like, if you people or myself or in this particular situation, how our lifestyle is going to be. But you know what this particular person is doing? He's moving around the world, right, giving so many lectures, motivational lectures. Just see this particular auditorium. Probably might be 50,000, 60,000 people will be here. Why they are here? Just to hear the speech of this particular guy who doesn't have no arms and no legs. It's great, right? So don't ever underestimate yourself, and don't put it inside a jar kind of thing, thinking that you cannot do it, is difficult. Nothing of that kind, right? So if this person is happy living, why can't we? Right? So that is more important, right? And coming to the next thing, if I ask you how many holes are there in this particular shirt, what will be your answer? Probably you say is right, neck 1 hole, hand 2 holes, so 3, at the bottom 4, right? Inside I have 2, right? Probably you may say 8 holes, right? But if you turn down the particular t-shirt, who knows, there might be so many number of holes. But that is at the hidden side. The same way, when it comes to computer science and engineering is concerned, right, there are new technologies, new programming languages, new tools, right, new techniques. Every time it has been upgraded. You cannot judge that these are the only programming language. You cannot judge that these are the only tools that has been needed for a programming constructs. That is not the case, right? And so all we need is this particular computer, right? So whatever we do, right, so we completely rely on this particular computer. And of course, this has been categorized as hardware and software, right? And when it comes to this, I don't know how many people come across this particular picture, right? So this is nothing but a computer. Can you realize? Right? Nowadays, we have been using a compact computers, but this is the early stage of computer, right? And coming to this, I don't know how many people come across this. This is nothing but a hard disk. Can you believe this? Such a huge size, but that is what the earliest stage of evolution, right? And coming to this, can anybody guess what it is? Right? It is a 5 MB hard disk. It's simply 5 MB hard disk. See the size of that. But nowadays, what we are using in TVs, terabytes, 1 TB, 2 TB hard disk, a compact hard disk. That is what the upgradation, that is what the technological upgradation, right? Now, at this particular moment of time, technology is ruling, right? Completely technology is ruling our world, right? So everybody knows that computer is a digital system. Computer is a digital system, meaning it can understand only zeros and ones. Just imagine a situation, right? One person wants to talk with another person, right? How do they communicate, right? Probably they use languages like Tamil, Hindi, English, right? These are the languages in which they will be communicating. These languages, we call it as communication language or natural languages through which people communicate, right? Just imagine a situation where a particular person can talk only Hindi and one person can talk only English. How do they communicate? It is difficult, right? Right? So if these people want to communicate each other, obviously there needs an intermediate person. This intermediate person, we call it as a translator, right? So obviously this particular translator, they should know Hindi as well as English, so that when this particular person talks in Hindi, right, he will translate that to English, and of course vice versa. This is how a general communication things happen, right? And when it comes to the next thing, a human wants to communicate with computer. How do they communicate? Right? So they are communicating using languages like C, C++, Java, right? Python. There are so many programming languages. These things we call it as programming languages. But the point is, we already told that computer is a digital system. It can understand only zeros and ones. If that is going to the case, how a human can communicate? Human doesn't know binary language. He doesn't know anything about ones and zeros, but computer can understand only ones and zeros. If that is going to the case, what should be there? That needs again a translator. Here, there is no human translator. It's going to be a translator called a compiler. Am I right? So this compiler, what it is going to do is, it is going to get the source code, right? And it is going to convert that into a executable code. Executable code is nothing but the binary code, because binary code are the one that can be understood by the computer. Is that clear? So that is how compiler works. So probably just imagine C program will be using compiler, right? And C++ will be using compiler as a translator. And Java will be using JVM, Java Virtual Machine, which acts as a translator. And Python, right, will be using interpreter, that acts as a translator. So these are the things which helps us to connect with computer. So if human want to communicate, yes, these things helps us. Right? Now coming to the generations of programming languages, there are so many things. Probably there are 5 programming language generations. Right? The first generation talks only about ones and zeros. Only about ones and zeros. If human want to communicate, he has to communicate in ones and zeros. No other go. Right? After that, there is some sort of upgradation. Second generation language, where assembly language gets into picture, where we have some opcode kind of thing, so that this particular code will be converted into opcode, and that opcode will be understood by the computers. So that is how second generation languages has been built. And then comes the third generation language, where we have low level languages and high level languages, say C++, right? Java, everything, these high level languages gets into third generation. And of course, the advanced features like object oriented features, that adds value to the third generation languages, right? And then comes the fourth generation language, nothing but the database connectivities and Visual Studios, where event driven programming, right? Event driven programming gets into picture. This is fourth generation. And coming to fifth generation, yes, it is about artificial intelligence, right? So making computers to think like human. That is how artificial intelligence get into. So this is how the growth of programming language get into. But what industry is running right now? How industry is expecting the student? How we can bridge the academic with this particular what we call it as industry, right? Same. Now, to start with, when it comes to artificial intelligence, as I told you, right? So artificial intelligence is one of the great technology that right now industry is using. Any companies or many companies are working on artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is nothing but science that makes computers to think like human. Whatever human we people are doing, we are going to make the computer to do that, maybe the robot to do that, right? And machine learning is one important branch of artificial intelligence. Machine learning is ruling the world right now. In industry, machine learning is right now the technology people are using, right? So what exactly this machine learning is all about? The machine learning, as I told you, it is nothing but a branch of artificial intelligence. Again, machine learning also going to, right, act as a human. It is going to learn by itself. Just imagine a situation where a human can play a chess game with a computer, and most of the time computer wins. Computer wins. But the thing is, we have coded the computer how to play, but still computer wins. How it happens? Because computer learns every time, right? Maybe from the opponent, maybe from the rules, whatever that has been feeded into the computer. So it has been keep on learning, and that is why it is winning every time, right? And what are the opportunities you have in machine learning? There are so many opportunities, like image recognitions, voice recognition nowadays. Just imagine, if you want to call a particular person in phone, right? We are we are not dialing nowadays. We are just going for a voice call, right? Reading the, if I want to call my friend Manavalan, right? I say call Manavalan. Immediately, my phone recognize my voice, recognize the statement, and immediately it calls the particular person. Is that right? Nowadays we are in YouTube, in Google, everywhere voice recognition is being there, right? And there are so many intelligent data analysis, right? So that is how it goes. Just I go for simple thing. Hope probably you might have come across this Tesla car, automated, no human, right? And probably you might have come across this Sophia, more intelligent than a human, because so many learning has been fed into that brain, right? So this is how machine learning works. To go for a very great example, hope you know these two persons, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. So these are the people who built Google, right? So initially, right, this particular Google is nothing but a research project, just like a BTech project, MTech project. These two members in 1995, they did a research project at Stanford University. Initially, that particular project has been named as Backrub, and after that, right, it has been renamed as Google. Just imagine right now, we cannot live without Google, right? So pointers, Google's mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. So it is converting every offline content, right, into online. If you want anything, go for Google, it is available. There is nothing that is not available at all. Everything is available, right? Now I go for a very simple example. If I go for rooms in Ooty in Google search, you might get this sort of results. You might get these sort of results. Just see that 5,81,000 results. Oh my God. Then imagine how many websites are being there. If these websites are only for Ooty related information, there are so many A to Z information we are requesting in Google. Then imagine how many websites has been stored in Google Web Server. And to the point, right? So now the point is, when I search, right, the computer understands our interest, understands our query so that it reciprocates based upon our interest. Even after days to come, if I even browse some other website, right, based upon my previous history of my search, right, Google gives me suggestions. So that is what we call it as machine learning. Yes. Okay. So that is how this sort of things have been happening. Now, one more important field that industry is right now running is about data science. Data science is yet another a great technology that has been happening. Right now, data science. What exactly we are going to play with data? We are going to play with data. How we are going to play with data? We are going to collect the data. We can clean it. We can integrate it. We can analyze it. We can visualize it. We can interact with the data. And at the end, as a resultant, we'll be getting a complete data product. Just imagine, right? Just for a thing. Say, for example, this is a simple image which explains data science. There are huge amount of voluminous data that has been running in the what we call it as internet. Based upon that information, a product has been developed. Just imagine Facebook. Are we paying anything for Facebook? No. Just imagine WhatsApp. Are we paying anything for WhatsApp? No. The point is, but what is the benefit of the owners of Facebook and WhatsApp? They are giving it for free. We are dumping so many images, so many videos in WhatsApp and Facebook, so many storages, but still, how they are surviving with their money component, because whatever data we are feeding, that data they are converting into product. They are analyzing our interest. They are analyzing our passion, whatever we feed, right? They understand about our product interest. So that is how this Facebook and WhatsApp has been progressing, right? One simple example I go for, you might have come across a thing called Uber or Ola cab, Uber cab. Probably you might have come across, right? A person wants to take a taxi, say this particular girl. Properly, what she will do? He will open a app, Uber app, right? So she will indicate the destination where she want to go, right? So based upon which, right, what happens? The car will reach and she'll be getting in and she'll be reaching the place. But this is not as simple as this. There are so many background activities that has been happening. So many background activities. Just imagine, right? Once she has given the information, that has to reach the server of Ola or Uber. And from there, it has to identify the nearest neighbor, in the sense nearest driver or cab, so that information has to be passed to the driver. What information? The person's information, the requester, the girl's phone number, that and all, right? And parallelly, the driver's information will also be shared with this particular girl. And now the route, how many minutes the particular driver will take to reach this particular girl, everything has been crystal clear in that particular app. So that is what data science is all about. And one more thing, they have to pay it, right? So banking sector are also connected. Right? Just imagine, right? The customer, the Ola server or Uber server, the driver cab, the banking, everywhere it has been connected. If all these things put together works fine, then only the transaction will be a perfect transaction, a happy customer. If not, nothing will happen, right? So that is how it goes, right? So this data science, what it does is it understands the consumer behaviors, right? It fine tunes its messaging, and of course it captures new market share, because online marketing is the great thing that has been happening. So this data science helps to understand. Okay. Now, what is the background knowledge that has been expecting if you want to be a data scientist? So we have something called R programming language or Python programming language. So this is very, very important. Right now, if you want to be in industry, right, Python, I repeat, Python is the more predominant programming language that every industry is expecting a student to be possessing, right? So that is very, very important. And what are the options? There are so many companies that has been wanting for this data science scientist. Even Amazon, Google, Microsoft, every major giants of IT industries, everybody are wanting for this sort of data scientist, right? So if you have a knowledge of Python, right, that is a basic expectation from the company's perspective, industry's perspective. Yes, you have to, right? Fine. And next important thing is about web applications. Probably you know, starting from HTML, CSS, right, cascading style sheets, JavaScript, right, PHP, database connectivities, right. This web application plays a tremendous role in building applications, right? So initially a computer connected with more computers as a networking aspects, and after that they try to connect computers worldwide. They want to connect all the computers, whatever computers that has been worldwide, everything they want to connect, right? That becomes World Wide Web. Now, if I see, now I don't know how many, I mean, where you people are, right? I'm sitting somewhere in Pondicherry. You people are sitting somewhere in your home in different places, but still we people are get connected. That is the power of this World Wide Web, right? Now, what are the web applications that has been, right? Static web application, dynamic web applications, right? E-commerce applications, portals, right? Content management system. All these sort of web application categories has been developed. In industries, there are specific industry which deals with like web applications. So if you want to be a web developer, web application developer, right, you definitely has to know the basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, about database connectivities. Nowadays, there are so many programmings like React, Native. There are so many upgradations, right? So these are the things that you should be learning. You should learn if you want to be a industry-ready programmer, right? And then comes your mobile application development, right? When it comes to mobile application development, nowadays there are so many intelligent apps. When you go for an app store, you might have come across so many apps, right? So starting from Facebook to every other apps, Instagram, right? There are, for nowadays, for everything they are building an app, right? If you want to be a mobile app developer, you should know working with Java, right? And you should know working with Android Studio. Nowadays, there are a few things, even without coding, we can develop a mobile app. But still, if you want to be a mobile app developer, you should definitely have a knowledge of Java, Android Studio. And as I told you, the React Native, that and all can also be worked out with this mobile app development. Now, this is one important industry that is happening. Web application, artificial intelligence, machine learning. Now I'm talking about mobile application development. And next important thing is about virtual reality. Right? Probably you might have come across, nowadays people are working with, right, great animations and so on. So virtual reality, what exactly? There is nothing, but still we realize there are something. Probably they are working in a green mat. You might have come across so many Hollywood movies and nowadays South Indian movies also. Starting with the Jeans, earlier Shankar movie, now Bahubali, right? Everywhere this sort of animations have been happening, graphics has been happening, virtual reality, right? So that is very important. And next important thing is augmented reality, right? So these are the two things that has been ruling right now. This is a separate industry where people are wanting for this, right? Again, for this, if you want to be successful in virtual reality, you should know about animations, graphic designs. Probably you might have come across something called Maya, right? So that sort of things and all you should be aware of, right? And next important industry that has been happening right now is about Internet of Things. Internet of Things. Right? What is Internet of Things? Nowadays, starting from agriculture, right? So starting from agriculture to any other technologies, right? People are using Internet of Things. Nowadays, I don't go to the farm, right? Start the motor, right? Go for water distribution for the farm. Nothing. Using my mobile phone, I can do that. I can understand, right, whether there is a need for water. Based upon the need, I can automatically my app will go for switching on and off of the motor, distribution of water, everything. So it is like anything, anywhere device. If you want to switch on your AC, say you are traveling, right? So probably when you switch on your AC, it will take minimum 5 to 10 minutes to get cool. Nowadays, what people are doing when they are traveling in car or like a bus or a two-wheeler, right? Before they reach 10 minutes back itself, right? From the remote place itself, they are switching on their AC, so that when they enter their home, their room, the cooling will be there. That is how Internet of Things has been happening. Now, probably you might have come across smart city projects. Our government have introduced smart city projects. For that, this Internet of Thing technology that has been used. Maybe starting from traffic signal, parking lighting, and city services everywhere, right? These are the uses, right? And understanding the traffic, based upon the traffic, how I can divert my place, everything. And the next important thing that in industry right now people are using is about cloud computing, right? So cloud computing is anywhere, anytime access. Anywhere, anytime access. Just imagine we have something called Google Drive, right? So if I put every of my file in Google Drive, it doesn't matter where I am, unless rather than I got some internet connectivity, I can access any of my files. I can access any of my files. That is what anytime, anywhere access. Is that clear? Right? So that is very important. And of course, using cloud computing, what are the things I can do is I can go for resource pooling, I can go for on-demand self-services, I can go for broad network accesses, everything I can do. Right? So this cloud computing environment is one hot area in our industry right now. And next important thing, as I told you, it is animation industry. Now, any movies, any TV channels, if you take, right, there are so many animations, starting from memes to every graphics. Animation plays a major role. Probably you know how many cartoon channels are there in all languages, starting from Hindi, English, Telugu, Malayalam. Like every languages, cartoon channels are there. Not only one single channel. For one language, there are more than one channels. Right? So that is how the industry. There are so many things, as I told you, starting from Photoshop. You can go for Maya animation software. You can go for video editing softwares. You can go for audio editing softwares. You can go for graphic softwares. You can go for animation softwares. So somehow or the other, you have to be good enough in any one of these so that you can be a industry-ready programmer. Industries are wide range. There are so many industries I'm talking about. I'm not fitting in only one. So far, I told you about machine learning industry, right? Animation industry, data science, data analytics industry, artificial intelligence industry, right? So that is how it comes. These normally we call it as 2D animations. Probably you might have come across, right? So there won't be any 3D images. I mean the full view like this. So these and all we call it as a 3D images. So there are so many technologies, there are so many programming which helps to build these sort of 2Ds and 3D images. And one more important industry right now is e-publishing, converting all your offline contents right into online contents. So e-publishing is very important. Probably you might have come across e-learning, converting e-books right? So everything is about e-publishing, right? And next thing is, I tell you, any people who get into, right, any industry, right, will definitely experience the terms and terminologies what I'm going to talk right now, right? These like things you already might have come across. Software engineering, it's a basic thing. Starting from analysis to design and implementation, testing and maintenance, these are the phases. Probably you might have come across, as I told you, these are the software development life cycle phases, starting from analysis, design, implementation, testing, and maintenance, right? And now there are so many process models you might have come across. These are called subject oriented, right? So waterfall model, spiral model, prototype model, like and so on. So I'm not going to get into deeper because you might have come across like in subjects, right? Now I'm going to talk something about agile methodology. I tell you, every company, every organization, every IT industry, right? They are following agile methodology. They are following agile methodology. Okay. Now, what is this particular agile methodology? What do you think that is agile methodology? Right? The point is, earlier in waterfall model, what happens is we go for completing the analysis phase, and then we'll jump into design phase, and then we jump into like implementation phase. So once we complete the complete component, then only we go for like the next phase. Though the product has been very big, right? But what agile process is doing is, yes, the product is very big, but what these agile people are going to do is they are going to divide this particular project into bits and pieces, complete functionality wise, and like go for the like submission. That is how they go for, right? So as I told you, agile is the ability to adapt to changes as fast as or faster than changes occur. Because like programming, as I told you, every time there are so many new changes. So based upon that, we have to convert ourselves. Now, this is how an agile methodology happens, right? There might be so many tasks. Normally in the movies எல்லாம் பார்த்திருப்பீங்க நிறைய இந்த மாதிரி சின்ன சின்ன ஸ்டிக்கர்ஸ்லாம் ஒட்டி like in the detective stories and all பார்க்கும்போது the same thing you'll be doing in the industry. I tell you, when you join IT industry, you will also do whatever I right now show it in your slide. You will also have some like sheets, write something, fit it out, right, and you'll be progressing. Okay. Now, tasks. What are the tasks that has to be done, right? And what is the priority? That is very important, right? So, what is the priority I'm going to give, and what are the like tasks that has been under progress, right? And what are the progresses that has been tested, and what are the tasks that has been completed? So that is how you categorize and paste, right? And you will be, as I told you, this term, right? You'll be hearing daily when you join an IT industry, right? The thing called Scrum. What exactly this? Right? The Scrum is nothing but an agile method, as I told you. It's an agile method. It is a loose set of guidelines that governs the development process of the product. As I told you, there are so many big projects and that has been converted into small things. And once they complete a particular functionality, they call that as a Scrum. I will explain this. Say, for example, one functionality, they have to plan it, build it, test it, and review it. Once it has been done, one functionality is over, right? Then they go for second functionality. For that, they have to go for planning, building, testing, and reviewing, right? And then they go for third functionality, that is planning, building, testing, and reviewing. The same way it goes on. Now, this complete phase of plan, build, test, and review, we call it as sprint 1. The second one, we call it as sprint 2. Third one, we call it as sprint 3A, and it goes on. This complete sprint is what we call it as Scrum method. So I repeat, when you get into industry, you'll be working with these sort of sprint and Scrum methods. Okay. Now, generally, this is what the expectation from company's perspective. This is what the company's expectation, right? You have to do this, do that. They'll be expecting the specialization in all. I told you so many industries: machine learning, data science, Internet of Things, right? Like artificial intelligence, animations, virtual realities. Is that clear? Can a particular person be good enough in all these areas? But that is how people expect. Just like a particular tree, like gives you all the fruits. It's not possible, right? Banana tree means it will give only banana fruit. Papaya means it will give only papaya fruit. The same way, what is my advice is, you can have a knowledge of all the aspects, but you should be a programmer, right, in one particular aspects. Maybe a machine learning or a data analytics or Internet of Things or animation, any one you should be good enough, right? And of course, everybody have their own individual things, right? Just imagine, is this possible for a fair selection? Everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb the tree. Is that possible for an elephant to climb a tree? No. It can carry a tree, but it cannot climb a tree because that is its strength. Monkey can do that just like that. Fish cannot do that. So the point is, as a student, everybody have their own talent and everybody have their own interest. You have to identify what is your interest, what is your passion. Based upon that, you have to choose what industry you have going to be, right? So as I told you, you might be good in one thing and another person can be good in another thing. So don't compare yourself with anyone in this world. If you do so, you are insulting yourself. That is what Bill Gates, the legend, the leader of computer technology, he's been insisting. Just imagine a peacock, such a beautiful bird, right? Colorful bird, a national bird of our country, right? It looks very beautiful. But have you heard the voice of the peacock? It will be horrible. It will be very horrible, right? But a quail, what we call it as, looks like a black and a short and a stout, right? But when it comes to voice is concerned, it will be very beautiful voice. The same way, every individual has their own a talent. One will be good in Python, go in that. One will be good in Java, go in that. One will be good in Photoshop animations. Like, yes, you can. Right? Just imagine, is this possible? When A.R. Rahman wants to play cricket, right? Want to score centuries, want to win World Cup for India. Is that possible? And Sachin Tendulkar suddenly wants to do something to get Oscar awards. Is it possible? Definitely no. Right? They both have their individual talents. Yes, he's a cricketer and he's a musician. If they do their own job effectively, both can be a happy person. That is what more important, right? And as I told you, life is the most difficult exam. Don't ever try to copy others, right? Because all of you are having a different question paper. There is nothing to copy. And even if you copy, no use. Right? So you have individual talent, you have individual passion, right? Focus on that, right? To conclude, there is, I saw this particular advertisement. I saw this particular advertisement in web. The advertisement is this. There is a course, right? The course content is practical and theoretical, and it is a 1-week course. Right? I was assuming what this particular course will be. Is that a programming course, or is that a communication course, or is that a 1-week crash course for a GRE TOEFL, or is that a Mehendi class course, 1 week practical and theoretical? I was surprised, right? But to a surprise, this particular course is nothing but 1 week hair cutting course. 1 week hair cutting course. So what I'm trying to convey here is, doesn't matter whether it is hair cutting or not. Even for hair cutting, you need some training. Even for hair cutting, you should have some knowledge. You have to practice. You have to learn, right? If it is for hair cutting, you have to do so much, then think about IT industry. Yes, you have to undergo training. You have to practice. You have to program, right? First thing, you should believe that you can program. That is very, very important. So knowledge is power. Somehow or the other, you have to grab it through some way, right? So probably we, the teachers, are giving same input for everybody. We, the teachers, are giving same input for everybody. But few members take it in a positive way and few members doesn't. It's like potato and egg. The same boiling water that softens the potato, hardens the egg. Just imagine, right? Or like hot water potato, like in the egg you're putting in what will happen? Potato will get softened, but egg will become hardened because their own circumstances, their nature. The same thing happened for the student's perspective also, right? So it is up to the individual person who takes in a positive way, right? So the final point is, if you really want it, right, you just don't give up. So if you want to be a industry ready programmer, one and only thing is you have to take a step forward, right? Whatever basic programming languages you come across in your subject, in your curriculum, go for it. Understand the basic. Get into a thorough knowledge of that. If you want to get into industry, I tell you, don't think beyond the limit. Go for simple C, C++, Java, Python, right? Web technologies, right? And some database technology. These 6 programming, if you're good enough, you can definitely survive in IT industry. And getting into IT industry, definitely there will be a different perspective. They'll be giving some different training in their own tool, and that is a different perspective. But right, if you want to step into IT industry, don't panic. Don't imagine that it is a great thing. Yes, very well, you can get into an industry. One and only thing is you have to practice programming. As I told you, don't like that. I told you machine learning, data science. Yes, that and all. Yes, industry is right now using, but still, you being in second year, third year, final year, don't bother much. Go for C, C++, because your first step is to get into the industry. To get into the industry, they are wanting for C, C++, Python, Java. So go for it. Right? Learn it somewhere. There are so many things available on the internet. Go for it. Learn it. Right? Definitely you can be a successful person. Right? So I wholeheartedly thank all the students, right? So for having a patient listening, and hope you might have got some sort of insights using this particular webinar. So in that way, I'm thank you. And I also thank wholeheartedly the management of King's College of Engineering for giving me an opportunity to give a webinar on this particular topic. And I thank Rajarajan sir, Shivakumar sir, and HOD ma'am, right, principal ma'am, everybody for giving me this particular opportunity and making this as a successful event. So thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. I hope it will be very useful to our students, sir. So your presentation was very useful, sir. It's based on the current trends.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Students, if you have any questions, ask in the chat box.
Okay, one more information I can go for, add on, like Pondicherry Engineering College is associated with the Atal Incubation Center, right? So there are so many companies that has been running inside our campus itself. Few companies deals with training students, right? So through your faculty members, maybe through Rajarajan sir or Shivakumar sir, I can connect that particular training centers, which gives you free training and sometimes paid training also. so that people can get benefited. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure. So I think there is no question from the participants, sir.
Okay, sir, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, sir, shall we conclude?
Oh, okay, sir. So now we move on to vote of thanks. Good afternoon to all. On behalf of Department of Computer Science, King's College of Engineering, I take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to those who directly and indirectly contribute to the webinar on industry ready programming organized by Department of Computer Science and Engineering. I am very much thankful to our management and Honorable Secretary Sir Dr. R. Rajendran. I would like to thank our Principal Ma'am Dr. J. Arpuda Vijay for their enthusiastic support to organize this kind of event. I thank our resource person Dr. N. Sivakumar Sir. Thank you, sir. So your presentation was very useful. We are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence, sir. Once again, I thank you, sir. My sincere thanks to Vice Principal Dr. Sivakumar sir for his encouragement. A special thanks to our HOD Madam Dr. S. M. Uma for his consistent support. A heartfelt thanks to all the participants for their active participation. Thank you, everyone. The feedback link is shared in the chat box. Students, fill the feedback link. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, and probably we'll meet soon in some other time in another workshop or webinar. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you most, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Shivakumar sir. Thank you, thank you,
sir.
Shukanti
Thank
madam.
you so much.
Thank you, Rajarajan sir. Thank you, Anandol.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, sir. I take leave, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You can leave.
Thank you.
Students, so feedback link shared in the chat box. Student, fill the feedback link